Hi loves, it's Lacey and welcome to our space. So today I'm excited because I am participating in a collab that is being hosted by my friend Crafty Lenny and new friend Catherine from A Perfect Place to Start. They have gathered together some very talented YouTubers, and I am very lucky to be included in this group to bring to you some Dollar Tree wreaths. And I am going to be listing her channel along with all the other participants' channels down in my description box so you can check them out along with the playlist so you can follow along as we create our wreaths. So as you can see here, I have a ton of different things from Dollar Tree. I want to create this wreath completely from a Dollar Tree things. And so I just went in my stash and I pulled out all of this stuff. I have florals, I have accent pieces, I have ribbon as you can see here. I even pulled out some of the butterflies and wood carving pieces. I have some pit berries and things here as well. My goal for this wreath is to show you guys that with all the stuff that you already have in your stash, you have enough probably to make a wreath, especially if you're like me and enjoy shopping at Dollar Tree for like their florals and stuff like that, and you buy a bunch of stuff but you don't use it all. So I have leftover pieces and things that have been in my craft stash in storage that I've never even used, like these auto stickers. They have these out right now, but they had them last year. And these butterflies, you guys know how much I love these. I don't use any actually in this DIY. I just pulled out things that all had the same color theme. As you can see, I'm going for pinks. So let's just start off with our reform. I decided I've never used the bicycle reform, and so I had these from last year. I know they have them this year, so that's what I'm going to use. I ended up painting it white, and then I took one of these wooden houses from Dollar Tree and used one of the auto stickers that they had and glued it to the back. I lost the footage of when I glued it down, but it's just like this in this rectangle. I haven't done anything to it except for glue it down and pull off one of the stickers that would get cut off on the side. What I really liked about this one is the shutters are perforated and you can fold them up, as you can see here. Some of them have window panes that open in this particular set that they came out with, and some of them have like little doors that open. I also took off some of the raised stickers because this is bigger than this little house. This is the little tall house that they had, and I glued it on the back of it. So I didn't want to cut it off when I cut the little sides off. And I'm using my Cricut precision knife, but an X-Acto knife will work. And in a minute, I do switch to scissors because my knife, I think the blade was a little bit dull, and so I had to continually cut it, so I switched to scissors. And if you can see, the top here of my little house still shows there wasn't enough for it. So I am just going to cut off some of the excess that I cut off the sides of these, and I'm going to tuck them in. It has like a little wood plank finish to it, so I'm just lining up the lines from the wood planks on the top and then filling it in. It doesn't have to be perfect. If you decided to do this exact wreath like I'm doing it, like I said, all the pieces came from Dollar Tree and they carry these right now. I just lined them up as best as I could because I actually took off one of the little stickers from the bottom and I'm going to stick it up there instead because it will look a lot better, and I don't want to cover up the bicycle that's at the bottom. And this is the reason that I ended up picking this particular thing of auto stickers, is because it has a bicycle on the front and we're using a bicycle wheel. So I'm taking the little bird that was down on the front of it that would have been cut off the side, and I'm gluing it on the top. That's why I didn't worry about what it looked like on the top. And then I took my scissors and my knife and cut the rest of the sides down so I could get rid of the excess paper. It didn't take long at all. It's very easy. Now, what I would suggest, instead of doing it the way I did, would be just to trace it on the back before you glue it down and then glue it on there. But remember, some of the stickers stick up, and so you don't want to cut them off. So now here it is. I have the bicycle reform, and I just quickly painted over it white because I thought the dark was too much for this project. And I am pulling out all the florals that I think I want to use here on this piece. I still don't use all the ones that I show you. However, there's a lot of roses up on the little sticker that's on the back of the house, and so I pulled out more roses than anything. I don't actually use the really dark ones, but I wanted options for when I started to put this together. So the first thing I'm going to do is figure out where I want my house to sit. Now I was lining it up so the bicycle was straight. If I were you and you were going to do this, I would line it up so that the bicycle's not exactly straight up and down, that this goes in between where the straight up and down's not in the middle, because it won't hang properly if you do it that way and you don't want to put a ribbon on it. I do put a ribbon on mine at the end, so you'll see. But I just figured out where I wanted to glue it. I marked it off and then I glued it down in the same spot, so I know that it would go in the exact same spot when I glued it. Put a little glue underneath and a little glue on the top. So now that that's attached, I can figure out where I want to put all my florals. And what I do is I just pull off the leaves and the flowers off of the stems for this. I knew I just wanted to go around the entire bicycle frame with florals and some greenery to match kind of the florals and the greeneries that are in my little sticker that's on the back of this house. This is a very, very simple DIY and a very simple way to make a wreath, especially for people who struggle with like trying to figure out what goes with what. I just take the colors that are in the sticker and I pick out the florals that I have for that. I had ribbon on the table, and for a minute there I thought I might make a bow for this, but I decided against that as well. So sometimes I don't know what I'm gonna do. I just have like a little inspiration, which was that sticker from Dollar Tree that is in the Crafter Square section normally, and I played off of that. I pulled out things that matched it and I'm just gluing them down. So I like to dry fit a lot of my stuff, know where it's going, and then stick it down, or make piles of like things and then just pull from those piles. And so basically I'm doing a little bit of both here. I have all of my florals and stuff in piles, and I dry fitted the greenery so I know kind of where I want the greenery to go. I change my mind throughout this, and I pull out different things that I didn't initially have out, but this gives me a general idea. And I know a lot of people have asked me recently to make a spring wreath, so this is going to be my very first spring wreath. And since the bicycle is blue, I pulled out some blue florals. These were from last year, but I know Dollar Tree is putting out all of their spring florals right now, so you probably could find something close to it, if not exactly the same. And I'm just tucking in each piece of floral. I'm cutting them all off or pulling them all off of their stems and putting them in individually. So I'm just going to keep doing this. There's like no real rhyme or reason. I just want greenery by all of the flowers, and I want all of the flowers to be separated in like some colors and stuff. I try not to put too many of the same flower next to each other. So now I'm just going to be quiet, and you can watch me stuff in some different flowers, different colors, different textures, and see how I put this together. Sometimes I'll say, oh, this is going to go here, and then you'll see that I changed my mind and I put it in a different spot. So here you can see that it's looking a whole lot fuller. I try to make sure that I spread out the color distribution too evenly, and I like to take things that are in bunches and cut them in half so I can spread it out the way I think it would look like when it's growing, especially when I have a whole bunch of different florals, or like the way it would look if a florist had put the bouquet together. But I think it's turning out really, really well. Wherever it looks sparse at the end, when I get it going all the way around, I just use some of the smaller pieces that I have and fill it in. So now that it's looking really full, I'm just putting in some of the smaller pieces that I had already cut, and I will hang it up. You can see I picked it up there to make sure it looks well. If it doesn't look full enough to me, that's when I would put it back down and fill it in some more. But it's pretty full, and I have this little tiny blue bird that you guys know, if you've been here for a while, I'm extra. I decided to put it on one of the little rungs. I also put a little butterfly over on the left that you can see there too, because I don't know, it never seems done to me on a wreath unless I have a little butterfly or something extra. But I love how this turned out. I think it's great for spring. At the very top of it, I did just put a ribbon around the middle loop and tied a bow up on my hanger to hang it. You can hang it right on the actual frame and you don't need a hanger, but it wouldn't hang straight up and down like that without me tying a ribbon around the middle loop in the back. And then I just put the bow up on the top of my wreath form. I love the fact that this is a bicycle on the sticker on a bicycle wheel. That's my whole inspiration for this. And the fact that there were tons of roses on that, I decided to add roses because initially I wasn't going to put roses on here. I was just going to put spring florals. But I think it turned out really well. It's really full. And these stickers, the detail on them, they are actually 3D, and I love that about them. The little pot that's in the window was actually a sticker on the bottom that I took off and moved up to the window because I thought it made more sense, and I thought it would get lost in the florals at the bottom. So that is it for this video. I want to thank Crafty Lenny and Catherine from A Place to Start again for including me in this collaboration. I will be linking the playlist for the collab down in my description box, along with the channels of everyone who is participating. Please go by and show them some love and tell them that I sent you. Also, I want to thank you guys for watching and always liking my videos. And if you're not a subscriber, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and become a subscriber here at Lacee Space. And I will catch you in my next video. Bye, loves.